Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. 1 second. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. What a day today. So definitely an epic move today. Gap and go to the downside today was pretty impressive. So made for some fun trading, that's for sure. Now we'll see if they're ready to buy the dip. So we'll see how that looks. We'll take a look at that in a little bit here in a minute. Today we're going to be continuing our conversation on day trading clean charts. And today we're going to be talking about chart patterns. So it's really fun to see chart patterns when the chart is clean, right? So it helps a lot of times. So anyway, before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market today. And then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what they're up to this evening and what we might be setting up into the rest of the night, possibly into tomorrow morning. And then we'll take a look at the topic, and then we'll go through questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, let's take a look at SPX. So, woo! Down 119 points today. What a day. Look at this monthly chart. It's turning into a big red inside shooting star candle. Watch out for that one. Let's see. We've got 2 more trading days left in the month. Can they bring it back green, or are we looking at more downside? The weekly chart. Well, we're not too surprised at this volatility, right? It initially started here at the Cloud Canyon, right over the cliff right here. So things started to get red, a little bit funky, right? We got this little corrective channel right here. We broke out of it. It looked like maybe we'd get a little bit of a pullback, right, and possibly work its way up. So kind of interesting stuff. And then of course the cloud on the weekly chart has turned red here, which got things going a little bit more, right? So pretty cool stuff there. Daily chart. Whoa. We pushed out of the inside day. Now yesterday was an NR7 inside day. That stands for narrow range, the narrowest range in 7 days. So an NR7 inside day is a particularly powerful inside candle. Oftentimes it's compression leading to expansion. We could say that maybe the downside was possible, right? We're definitely trending down, right? So we're starting to trend down. We were in the corrective channel. And of course we were under the 80 MA, and then we were under the 50-day moving average yesterday. So was I expecting a gap below the cloud? No, but does that make it even more bearish? You bet, right? And we filled this gap here from above. Right, we actually flushed down and filled that gap, leaving a big open gap above right here. So that's going to be a huge target, and you have to imagine the plunge potential team is going to step up at some point here and get this thing going. But we'll see. So right now, if we look at the retrace on this one, right, from this recent low, right, we're basically below the 786. So we're kind of in this danger zone area. That 786 we talked about with Paul on Friday on our Elliott Wave show. That 786 is kind of a big line in the sand. 886 is the next one. 100% retrace is interesting. So we'll see what it has in store, right? Ultimately, if you kind of zoom out right here, I mean, it's not that bad, right? I mean, we're just kind of looking at a potential ABC correction. We thought that was the corrective move. So right now, this could be a zigzag type formation still, although it was a pretty sharp move up. But it could be even more impulsive, right? This could be ABC, and then we could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we could work our way down even farther, right? So that 200-day moving average is going to be a big area of interest, and then under there, right? So we've got kind of some support levels right here at about the 3,000 level. So we'll see how that holds, or if it holds. So anyway, looking like an ABC right now. If it stays above these levels right here, that could be just kind of a decent full wave 4 right here, ABC, and then we might work our way up. They might wait until after election, so we'll see how that goes. Could be very interesting here. So anyway, we're going to keep an eye on this nasty Marubozu candle here again today. Pretty big range on the candle itself, and let's take a look at the price action and see how it behaved here today. If we go to the 15-minute chart, right, we had a quick 15-minute orb right here, and we flushed down below that today. So it was a gap and go to the downside, right? Nice breakdown here below 15 orb for a nice move. Got a little bit choppy for a little bit of a mini rally, right? And then worked its way back down. And then we had a we had a 2B reversal right here. Didn't get much follow through. Gave a little bit of a move, and that was about it. And then they flushed it at the close. So pretty interesting stuff there. Here's the levels that we provide to our members before each market open, and look at those pulled up here today. All right, so some pretty major levels right here. We basically lost a lot of the key levels right here, but we still had some major levels on the SPX, including the open gap, right? So once we gapped down and we started to get into that gap right here, that gave a good clue that we'd look to the next to fill the open gap. There's a closing gap below there. We filled that. We tried to reverse off of it, and then we retested the open gap level and then flushed. So pretty cool stuff there. Let's take a look and see how things looked at the S&P futures today. And then we'll take a look and see what they might be setting up into tonight. So So pretty cool stuff. Last night they gave us a big move last night, so we were a little bit worried that we just kind of chop around today because they made such a big move overnight. It wasn't until so basically what we did here. It wasn't until we pre-market where we started to get a clue here that once we lost this signal zone, this 3300 area, that we're going to look for more downside. Once we got in the open market, we started to push our way back up. But to me, it looked like a retrace this morning, right? And so we pointed out a short opportunity on the live stream this morning right here off the signal zone, which gave us a nice move down to the next signal zone. And we ended up getting some nice follow through to the next two signal zones below, which is pretty cool. And then right here, you can see it was about a 618 retrace. So that's why I like that one this morning. So pretty nice there. We got some choppy action. We got to the signal zone of double inside 5, worked our way down. A lot of choppy, sloppy right here. They tried to rally it, and then they flushed it into the close. This was great here for futures. We pointed that out in the live stream at the close today. A good short opportunity there once we broke out of a couple of our levels here intraday, and then we saw a nice move down. Members did really great today, so it was for the most part, right? Everybody really kind of played along and used our levels and did a great job from what I saw. So that was really great stuff. So let's kind of keep an eye on this here today. It looks like here tonight we've got this going on here, right? So we got a kind of a triangle-ish pattern here going into evening here. So let's see if they can try to break out of it, right, and get it going back again. We got a lot of levels above to test, so we'll see how it goes there. Again, downside, if we keep going down, the next level, the next big level down here is this 3250 zone, right? And I got to go back in time and find some other ones. We do have a signal zone down here at like 3200, so we got some levels below that could get tested if they want to. So we'll see how that goes going into the into tonight and into tomorrow. So good stuff. All right, well, let's take a look. Today we're going to be continuing our conversation on day trading clean charts with chart patterns. So you can see how nice it is, right, on the S&P futures here when we have a pretty clean chart, right? It makes it a little bit easier to draw patterns, right? So that's one of the great things about charting, right, is to be able to look at consistent patterns that work well, right? So a bear flag right here. Into the open, right? That was another thing we liked about it. Nice retrace right there. So again, when you have a clean chart, it's easier to see a lot of the some of the chart patterns that are setting up. Let's take a look at a couple other examples. Let's go to the daily chart and take a look at a few other ones that have set up pretty recently. Let's take a look at Netflix. Let's go to a clean chart on Netflix. So Netflix gave a double bottom, a W bottom. Let's get another clean chart right here. Create a new chart. Okay, so Netflix actually ended up making a triple bottom right here, but what I really liked about this one, right, it was kind of a sideways cup and handle, right? So this is when you start seeing this here, right, it helps gauge potential moves, right? So what you can see here is we had this nice bottoming pattern right here, nice bottoming pattern right here, and so what we can do is just stretch a geometric line above here to kind of signal us for an entry, right? And so when price starts to move through, right, we can catch a momentum move through these levels. So you can see how nice it is once we broke out through here. Nice move off of that, right? And it gave a double inside day that ultimately worked its way up. So that gave a nice move on here. And then what we were talking about the other day or yesterday is looking at these key levels of support, right? So just drawing lines on these. So we ended up getting a triple bottom right here, right, and having sort of a mini W breakout right here. So a little double bottom. And a nice push up through there on Netflix, right? So this really helps us and keys us into levels. Now Netflix is working on a larger macro, potential cup and handle right here, but it pretty much broke down and lost that. It needed to kind of pull its way up here and then start to work its way up. So that was a nice move on Netflix. Let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at one that had a nice chart pattern. So this is one that was a pretty good one here. I got a request on this the other day. And this is just a great example and kind of inspired me to do this series here too. One of the things I like about PanW is that, it followed everything that we've been talking about this week, right? So just kind of clearing the chart out right here. And this is kind of building it from scratch is what I like about it, right? Is first, everything we talked about this week, we talked about trend lines, right? So you go from the lows to the highs, right? You find a level that doesn't intersect other levels. You look for a breakdown confirmation, and we make a breakdown right here. We also have key levels, right? So we have these prior levels right here of support and resistance, right? So you can see how this held here, right, as resistance, and then it became support. We got a couple bounces off of that, and then it became resistance, right? So that was a nice level, right, using those. And now using chart patterns, right, on a clean chart. So one of the things we can look at right here, right, nice little bear flag for a breakdown, right? And here we had a nice rising wedge. So you can just kind of chart these things out and look. And right, nice rising wedge right there for a breakdown here, as well as in a sideways head and shoulders move right here, right? So we got a couple nice levels right here: shoulder, head, shoulder. After the rising wedge breakdown for more follow through today on PNW. So really beautiful stuff. And then a couple other things you can do, of course, once you get your chart patterns up, is on that rising wedge. What a nice from the highs to the lows. Right, what a nice doji here off of the 618. Right, we also came up to the prior chart pattern. We talk about that. Prior chart patterns breakdowns can be good resistance levels or good levels of interest. So that gave a nice confirmation here off of the 618 doji. Off of the rising wedge there to work its way down. So again, this is all working from a clean chart, and you can really see a lot with it. When you have the clean chart, those the chart patterns can really jump out at you. And drawing the geometric lines, if you're not experienced with it, one of the things you can do is just kind of draw geometric lines. We've done a series on that in the past, but just draw a geometric line where it connects a couple levels, and then kind of see off of those geometric lines if something's happening, right? So one of the things we like too, triangles, right? So right here on PNW is beautiful, right? So nice triangle right here, right, and a nice breakout of the triangle, right? So we have to assume, right, that was a wave 3, wave 4 triangle, and then we worked on our wave 5 up, right? So just drawing lines that are smooth can help key us into patterns and help us find good setups. And then you add your Fibonacci's to it, you really can really find some great setups and some great trades. So I hope you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window. We'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So ZEK, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at Snap. So Snap, great strength today, right? We talked about yesterday it might be working on a bull flag, but what great relative strength today. This is just an ode to relative strength. We love this one today, right? Beautiful move, 15-hour breakout with some good volume coming in right here. Is it going to go vertical all day? No, probably not, right? So what do we do on relative strength? We wait for a pullback and we look for another opportunity on this one. So here we got a 382 pullback, low volume, and then the volume started coming in again, right? And on a name like Snap, once you get break over here, nice candle right here, right? What a great push into the close on Snap. Beautiful one today. We'll see if we get some follow through tomorrow. We got pins reporting tonight, which we'll look at in a little bit. They reported tonight, so really super strong off of that one. And some sympathy moves off of some of these social media type names. So good stuff there. X marks the spot. Big breakdown here today. Let's take a look here on the daily. So big breakdown candle on this one today. Coming up on earnings. Let's see how it holds up here. I mean, it might be sort of like a big bull flag, but we'll see how that goes after earnings. IQ, I know you mentioned this yesterday. So IQ, beautiful candle yesterday. And again, good follow through today, right? Not everything was weak today, which is pretty cool. That shows that the market's not really crashing, right? When you have, back in the Corona crash, right? Everything crashed, right? But now, we've got things with relative strength, right? So IQ held up there today. These are the ones that we kind of want to hone in on, right? So another interesting one, right? BABA, right? With some of the K-Webs today. Inside day today, right? It was down 9 points. It didn't break out over the highs, right? But this is kind of interesting. Nice pullback to the triangle right here. So let's see if we can get above that inside day high and try to work its way back up again. So that was an interesting one as well. And then, of course, pins. So pins is definitely going to be on the radar tomorrow for a gap and go trade, right? This had an epic move last earnings. Now it's up at 64. So, of course, one of the levels we're going to look at is the highs, but 64.92. This thing's just a monster. Again, it's way up here. Get this up here. 64. Wow, all the way up here is looking for it. So again, big gap up on this one. We'll see if it's an exhausted gap. If not, we might see a gap and go trade off of that one if we can get over the highs, these after hour highs and any pre-market highs that we see on. But just an epic move on that one. Beautiful stuff. Thank you so much. And Shirley sent a few in here via email. And once again, guys, thank you everybody for keeping Shirley in your thoughts and prayers as she gets better all the time. So let's take a look. The first one here is Nvax. Okay, so Nvax, a bit of a breakdown right here with some increasing volume. Looks pretty bearish right here. Did it fill the open gap right here? High 81.19, low 81.07. Yeah, so it did fill this open gap right here. Again, pretty bearish looking, right? Definitely breaking down below these recent pivot lows. 200-day moving average looks pretty interesting on that one. So nice find there. Google. Again, guys, we got 4 of the highest weighted names on the S&P 500 and definitely the NASDAQ reporting tomorrow after the close, and one of them being Google. So a little bit of caution off of this one, right? It filled the gap right here. Just look for a potential earnings, pre-day earnings run on these names tomorrow. We might see a little bit of strength in that. And if they all beat tomorrow, it might start actually bringing the market up on Friday. And maybe, and it is possible, that we could finish the month green. So good stuff there. Autodesk, big breakdown. Inside day candle down off that one under the 50-day moving average. Looks nice, looks bearish. Let's take a look at LMT. Again, big breakdown on this one, right? So it was down off of earnings. It just came down with the rest of the market today. Boeing being down today too, even with a better than expected earnings report, was still down as well. Mickey D's inside day down as well. Big upper shadow of the 50-day moving average. Some big volume on this one. A little bit of caution right here with with this potential level. Right, this potential level right here. If it can get below there, then maybe it'll kind of drift its way down into earnings. So we'll see how that goes on Mickey D's. And of course, Apple. Apple also reporting tomorrow after the close. Big one to look at for sure. Big breakdown below the cloud, right? And earnings coming up tomorrow after the close. So good stuff. Thanks so much, Mike. What's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at Facebook. Yeah. So Facebook actually pulled back. We were kind of tracking this as a bear flag, and then it got a little bit. It got a little bit elongated, right? So started looking like just a good channel up. It could be anything, right, on this one. It's gapping up after hours in sympathy with Pinterest. So let's see how it does, right? Again, it's got earnings tomorrow. Premium started to get pretty expensive on this one. Let's see how it behaves, right? So it could be an interesting one on Facebook. They seem to handle themselves pretty well today with their testimony before Congress. Okay, so Tesla, looking pretty interesting here, guys. A couple things that we're looking at Tesla, potential sideways head and shoulders right here, starting to break down out of there, increase volume, right? So it could be working its way down from that head and shoulders type style. Otherwise, if it wants to bounce right here, it could be pretty interesting. An interesting little wave down right here, kind of triangulating a little bit too, right? So we got this and this, right? So we'll see how that holds for Tesla as well. It could be interesting. Let's see if we can get back above the 50-day moving average. That's kind of the big one on that. Otherwise, if this thing really wants to break down, it could work its way down to the upper trend line right here, which is all the way down to like 340, 350-ish area. So it could be interesting on that. So good stuff. Thanks so much. Chris, what's going on? Mr. Softy, Microsoft. So a good beat on earnings and revenue and cloud computing and all that stuff, and down with the market here today. Just couldn't hold up, right? So it didn't help the market that Microsoft was down. Now, this is a very, very important one to watch tomorrow going into the other big weighted names in tech that are going to report Thursday night. Microsoft has already reported, so it's got a little bit better premiums. IV crush is done. So if everything works their way up here, watch Microsoft for a potential move back up. That could be pretty interesting right there. It is looking a little head and shoulder-ish too. It's right at the 786. So let's see if that can hold and maybe give us like an inside day tomorrow, and then possibly a push up if everything reports well on Thursday night. So good stuff there. Thanks, Chris. NK, what's going on? Good to see you. UNH. Member asked me about this. I didn't get a chance to look at this one today, but it really, really flushed here today. I think it gave one quick move at the open here to the upside. It gave a couple rallies, but just kind of stayed down below the 80 MA all day on this one. So good find there. It's right at the cloud. Look at that. See if it kind of hold it as support. Goldman Sachs. So Goldman, big gap down today, right? So the financials did not play along with the market today. When the financials are weak and the rest of the market is weak, right, that kind of helps sentiment on that one too. Wow, CVX, big gap down on this one with earnings coming up Friday morning. So that could be an interesting one right there, but definitely got beat up today. Again, big thing with this one. Goodness. You guys have no audio? Oh no. How long has the audio been out? Were you guys able to hear earlier? Were you guys able to hear earlier? When did the audio get out? Did it just go out? How long was it out? Hey, Robin, thanks. Around. Okay, good. I must have. I've got the mute button right here. It must have pushed against my my napkin or something like that. Woo! I was like, oh no, I got to do the whole thing over again. All right, so yeah, so back to CVX. Let's go back to that one. Wow, I must have just put my wrist on it and hit the button on that. Wow. Sorry about that, guys. All right, cool. Yeah, let's go back to CVX. Sorry about that. All right, cool. Yeah, so CVX real quick got pummeled on. Oh, you know what? Interesting. Yeah, okay. So CVX with a bit of a breakdown right there. And earnings coming up on Friday, right? So it's going to be a big deal on this one. It's been below the 50 and below the 80 EMA on that one. So a little bit of caution on that one. And then Home Depot, again, poking its head under the cloud, right? So a little bit of an upper shadow right there. So let's see if that gets any downside follow through on that one. A little bit of a closing gap right there for potential if the market's weak. It had some strength at the open, but not much there. So Charlotte Manoj, what's going on? So yeah, so Boeing, again, good volume today. Big deal with Boeing right here is this level right here. Again, Boeing can be a little bit tricky. Again, it does look like it's breaking down. Just don't let it fake you out. SE, again, that was kind of a big deal on this one, right? We saw the big candle off of this yesterday, breaking out of this potential bull flag, getting back in the channel, looking strong with good volume, and just a nasty gap down with the rest of the market. Sometimes that just happens. But let's see if it can try to gear its way back up again. So in kind of a nasty congestion zone. This is a tough mover anyway, right? So, but it was looking like it was trying yesterday. So let's see if we can get back into that channel. Good stuff there. And take two. Again, I think Activision reports this week. This one's kind of forming a little bit of a tight triangle right here. So let's see if that can break out one way or the other going into earnings coming up. So good stuff there. So Umesh, yeah. So JMIA, big one on this one. Thanks, Robin, too, for messaging me on that one. I appreciate it. So we've got the cup right here. We've got the handle potential. Let's see if we can get over that geometric line on JMIA. BLNK. Also, JMI had a nice bounce off the cloud today too. BLNK nasty, right? But low volume. This is just a low volume mover, so a little bit of caution on that one. This is probably not one I'd mess with too much, right? I like to have volume support in any sort of move. Beyond, oh my goodness. So back to the 786 in the 50-day moving average. If they're going to bounce, this is probably a good area for it. So let's see if they could do it on Beyond. Futu. So Futu, interesting. Yeah, kind of looking a little bit flaggish, maybe. So let's see if we can get out of these levels, let's see if we can get above the cloud, if we can get going again. Otherwise, it's a little bit of a lower shadow off of that one, so kind of holding the 50 days. So a little bit tricky on that one. Let's look for some strength on that one if we can get it. GRWG, Grug. So pot sector, again, interesting here. Gap down here, inside day down, back to the cloud, right? This is a tough one, right? So it gave a little bit of a breakout, and that was about it on Grug. NEO, let's take a look. NEO, guys, inside day today, definitely want to still keep on the radar. Great breakout candle. It reclaimed a lot of the range from yesterday's candle day despite being beat up. Again, a lot of the China names are pretty strong today. So keep an eye on that inside day on NEO. AMWL. Nice. So this one was looking like it was setting up for some potential here off the 618 yesterday, off the inside 8. It ended up pushing back into the golden zone. Again, see if it's ready to bounce off of this area right here. Again, I'd like to see some confirmation back over the 8 EMA on that one. So let's see how that goes there. And then Unity, I know you were mentioning that the other day. Again, big inside day today here off the 8 EMA on that one too. So just see if we can try to get another push over that geometric line on that one. And then Frog. Froggy! Yep, nice breakdown there off of yesterday's red candle. Right, so again, it's got some room to go down, so it could get to 72. That's kind of like the next level down on that. Snow. Well, okay, Snow up 5 points today. Big inside day today. I'm still working its way up to 618. Look at this one. See if it gets some follow through tomorrow. That might go on the bullish radar tomorrow, just to kind of keep an eye on. Wow, nice find on Snow. I like that. A good relative strength on that one today. Good stuff. And then PLTR. Big inside day today, lower shadow off the 8 EMA. Nice, good stuff. Coach, what's going on? Good to see you. Been a while. Nice, help through the insanity. It's Willy Wonka's stock market, so it's always going to be a little bit crazy. Just got to focus on the setups that work best for you, right? So that's really the best. Inside day on EXAS, great big day yesterday. Could be a pause day here on this one, so see if it works its way up. I would like to have seen it in the upper shadow up here. I don't like the upper shadow here, but keep an eye on it. See how those levels hold. TWLO. Twilio with earnings yesterday, right? So or Monday or Monday night. Anyway, so and hung in there today. So nice bounce off of that one. So it's holding the prior fib level. So otherwise, possible little head and shoulders type move off of that. But keep an eye on that one there. Baidu. Again, some of the China names strong, but just be careful with Baidu. This is a really, really tough name to trade these days. Again, focus JD, Neo, Baba. Those are the China names really that are kind of the market, the ones that move really the best here. But big lower shadow there, so see if that holds. And GDRX. GDRX. Yeah, breaking down right here again. Good RX. So, it's kind of coming to the inside low from off the IPO. Otherwise, you got the IPO lows below. Watch it. It could be a doji sandwich on the downside. And PLTR. Good stuff there. PLTR, again, big lower shadow here off the ADMA on that one. So see if there gets any follow through. Good stuff. Robin, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Chris, Microsoft, we looked at if hopefully that went through on the sound earlier. But yeah, Mr. Softy on this one. Again, big thing to look at on Microsoft is how the other big names report tomorrow night, right? So it's already done with its earnings. IV's been crushed. So if we're strong on Friday, keep an eye on Microsoft on Friday. That should be a good one. Yeah, pins up huge. Pins up huge. Just amazing on pins. Really, really good stuff. Ryan, everybody loves this PLTR. Am I missing something on this? This is chopping it up. Big inside day. It did give a big bounce today, so that's nice. It was only down 10 cents on the day. So again, over $10, is interesting for it. So just kind of see if it can push above these levels off of that inside day and give a move up maybe to the its prior all-time high. So that could be interesting there too. Good stuff. And then Zoom. Again, Zoom, another one, great one too with chart patterns, right? Triangle breakout. When you see a triangle, think wave 4 or wave B. You do an L8 wave. So nice breakout right there. Big outside day today on Zoom, but it had a nice gap up initially this morning, which was contrary to the rest of the market. Then it pulled back through that range. So good stuff there. Good. And then Piton, inside day, working its way up off the 382. So Piton pretty bullish going into tomorrow. Still below the ADMA, but if it's strong, right, definitely one to keep on the radar. Still working off of that 382. I like it. Piton's a tough one to keep down. Earnings coming up soon. Maybe it's ready for an earnings run. Joshua, what's going on? Do you ever short stock, or is the cost to carry, among other things, make it just not worth it? So Josh, I mostly day trade options, yeah, I mean, I go I get puts all the time. I love going short. So if you're talking about swinging short with like common shares, I mean, not anymore. I mean, I'll get puts. I'll swing puts if necessary. We swung. We had SPCE was a nice one the other day. Nice short off of that one. Boeing was a nice short too. So it just depends. Options are the way to go, really, especially if shorting too, because your risk is well defined. But yeah, it just all depends on the setup, right? It all depends on the setup. I'm good either way, one way or the other. But definitely intraday futures, easy to short. Just hit the short button, done, sell, right? So I mean, it's just move. It's smooth as butter. Smooth as butter. If it's good, if it's green, good. If it's going up, good. Hit the buy button, right? That's the idea. So yeah, but yeah, swinging short, right? It's got to be a good setup. You got to be careful. Right, so but options are the way to go, in my humble opinion. So Terran Pretty, what's going on? Apple, yep. So Apple, nasty breakdown today. Again with the rest of the market, big volume breakdown below the cloud. Earnings coming up tomorrow night. So we'll see how that goes on this one. Again, big earnings day tomorrow. So that should be very, very important. So Derek, what's going on? Nvidia, inside day down today. Broke down off the inside day. Right, nice push down here below the 50-day moving average down to the cloud, and a good volume breakdown on this one. So definitely want to keep an eye on it. It's below its upper trend line, below the 50-day moving average. See how it holds the cloud levels. Also important to see how the rest of the big tech names report on Friday. And this is usually one of the last big tech names to report. SSRK, Rosalind, let's take a look. That one's not coming through there on that one, but FVRR. Yeah, nice outside day today. Wow, Fiverr with a strong move here today too. Good move off of earnings. Like I said, it didn't flush here. I mean, there's a lot of green names here today, guys. So it shows that the whole overall market, is not breaking down like it was like during the quarter. Everything was red, right? So that's a big clue to help out. Twilio too, a decent bouncer off the fib level on that. We talked about it yesterday too. That it might hold that level. So good said, it's also defending its gap, which is nice. So Joshua, also interesting candles. Are they turbo candles on your own design? No. Just we just color the inside ones yellow, right? Just kind of lets us know when the market might be ready to kind of pause and maybe make another move, right? So it's a really, really powerful candle on that one. Ryan, BKNG. Let's take a look. Ooh, yeah, booking, big breakdown today too, big volume on that one. So again, this one highly affected by Corona news, right? Travel being restricted, restrictions going on across the board right there. See how it holds that 1600 level. Yeah, big one. SRRK, I got you. Okay, cool. Zerk. Scholar Rock. Look at that one, Rossi. Oh, I was glad we got the right one on that. Wow, look at that thing. Woo! Some big volume on that one. What's going on with this one? What are the moves here? It says surge in regular says stock sale plan. I got you. Okay, so it looks like they're going to sell a little bit or something like that. Wow, big fall through. Careful on that one, but wow, big move on that one. Good find. Woo! Yeah, this one didn't care about the market flushing at all. It's amazing when that happens. Chris, yeah, awesome, good stuff. Terran Pre LVGO. Let's take a look. Yeah, so LVGO is a tough one, right? It does a lot of upper shadows. I mean, it did have an epic run up recently. It's just been kind of did this ABC type thing. Kind of working on maybe a 1, maybe a 2. Could be working on its next leg up. So we got that going there. Ryan, yeah, sorry about the audio, guys. Thanks so much. Sorry about that, guys. Dave, thanks so much for mentioning. Cameron, thank you. Thanks, guys. Yes, Inkit, yeah, sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry. Good. I think we're good. We're back, though. We are back, though. Creighton, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at TTD. Thank goodness. Thanks, guys, for letting me know so early on, because I was like, oh, was this off the whole time? Because I've been talking like I would running like an engine on this one. So TTD maybe a little bit of kind of a falling wedge right here. Something to keep an eye on to see if it holds. Right, it's got some levels of open gap below. Let me look for some confirmation. See if we can get back above the 80. Maybe break out of this geometric line on TTD. CLX. Evening star reversal, right? So look for potential follow through on that one if it breaks down any farther there. Honeywell, yeah, kind of nasty there today. Right? That's kind of a momentum shooting star candle on that one. Some big volume. It's got earnings coming up, so see if that gets any follow through there. Vive, tough one to trade. Bit of an evening star reversal off of that one too. Just kind of eyeing that 50-day too. RNG. Big breakdown on RNG with some big volume on that one too. Watch these little pivot levels right here. It could find a little bit of buying pressure off of this guy right here. What else? TDOC, earnings after hours, right? Down a little bit after earnings. I can't remember what the issues were with it. I can't remember what they said. Yeah, they lost money. I mean, so that's kind of looking for a steeper loss next quarter. Great job, guys. So you're a teledoc company during a pandemic and can't make a profit. so a little rough off of that one. LH, bad guidance on that one too. LabCorp inside day. Again, huge volume win on this one, right, for all the COVID testing and stuff like that. But really, this one just is just kind of like a blah type mover, right? So, but keep an eye on it, right? Look for retraces on it. Overall, if we get another wave, how many waves of Corona are we on now? Like 5th wave or something like that. So, could continue to kind of grind its way up there. 5, a little bit of a retrace right here, kind of kind of consolidating a little bit right there. See if we can get over these levels that are already drawn. And we got that going on. Good stuff. I know. Thanks, EUK. Thanks, Derek. Really appreciate it. Good. Really good. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much, guys. Robin, thanks so much for messaging. I looked at that. I was like, So thanks, guys. Around CVX, we great. Appreciate it. Good. Awesome, good stuff. Cameron, thanks so much. ZK is back out. Awesome. Went on HD. Yeah. So HD again, breaking down out of that cloud. Yeah. So a little risky right there. I mean, if it wants to break down any farther, right? We got this level right here, about like 264. So that could be interesting. So good. Awesome. Good. We're good. Thanks, Robin. 36. Okay, cool. Good. Tracy, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at Square. All right, Square with an inside day, a little pop down here. Again, I had an upgrade the other. Look at that 80 MA. I mean, this thing is just kind of working its way down, right? So keep an eye on it right here. We're kind of corrective channel type stuff. See if it holds that 50-day, and if it can work its way up from there. And then UPS. Oh no, it's like UPS. Like, come on, you were so bullish for so long. How could you get a bad earnings move? Right, anyway, gap down and flush here. It's basically getting below this congestion zone right here. If we see any more downside movement, the scene of the breakout right here is a potential right around that 146, 145 area. So something to keep an eye on there. Good stuff. Cameron, yeah, GFI. Let's take a look. GFI, yeah, nasty gap down on that one here too. So Goldfield's a little bit rough on that one. Again, careful with this one. It's an ADR, right? Good stuff. Yeah, my pleasure. Angel, what's going on? Puts. All right, what's going on? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well up in New York. Good stuff. Tracy, yeah, AMD. Again, follow through to the downside from earnings, right? A little bit rough, right? This thing's been just kind of grinding its way down like AMD likes to do sometimes. Again, this was kind of your move right here off the 618, right? It gave a little bit of a retrace right here. It could be working on a bigger impulsive move down. Watch these levels right here, and then watch your open gap here, and then another open gap here if things get really, really weak on it. Amazon. Nasty down move today, of course, too. Earnings tomorrow. Tough to do much on that. I mean, premiums are just juiced, so it makes it a little bit tricky on it, right? So let's see how it reports Thursday night and where the market goes from there. Jay, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing great. Thanks for stopping by. Angel, Walmart, yeah. So Walmart, let's take a look. I love it. So we got a move right here. Right, it's kind of getting real close. I love it. The 618's right at the cloud, right at the 50-day moving average. We're right by it. So this could be a potential dip buy zone. So let's see how that goes on Walmart. APTX. Let's see. APTX. My fingers. Okay, APTX. Okay, yeah, nice inside day up off that one. So let's see if I can make a little bit of a move. Good stuff there. Good stuff. Joshua Zen. Yeah, let's take a look. Zendesk. Right to the geometric line. Very, very interesting with lower volume and earnings coming up. If earnings weren't coming up tomorrow after the close, we'll see how it goes with us in the market. But normally, if we saw something like this, it would be a good area to buy the dip. So let's see how it goes on that one. And then FedEx. How'd that move today? Ooh, down a little bit there in sympathy with UPS and the rest of the market. I'll tell you though, this thing has had an epic run up, right? You know, I mean, the big clues here, guys, are these closes, these red closes below the ADMA, right? I mean, its entire way up, it was, you know, it really did not close with a red candle below the ADMA until here. That shows you change in composure. I'm not saying it's time to short. It's just time to maybe raise some stops up, right, and be a little cautious off of it, right? So big gap down off that one with an upper shadow day and increased volume. So we got that going on today. Cameron, eat. Let's take a look. Yeah. Eat. How does that even eat? I must have just automatically pulled that up there. Yeah. So eat again. You know, very, very interesting, right? Oh, okay, we had earnings. So we had earnings this morning, right? So yeah, it held in there a little bit, not too bad, right? A little bit better than expected, right? So that's a good thing. Again, these are the names that you'd think that would break down with more Corona news, but it held in there, so that's a good thing. So good stuff there. Tracy Diz, last one. Thank you so much for reminding me that Mandalorian is coming out on Friday. So let's see how that goes for Disney Plus. I know I'm going to be re-upping my Disney Plus membership on Friday to catch the next season, so that'll be a good one too. So maybe they'll get some news out on that one and get a little bit of a move. But other than that, big slice through the 200-day moving average right there. You know, if it gets any further downside, maybe we'll see, you know, the bottom of this channel. So we got that going on there too. So good stuff. Robin, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And then Creighton Wicks. Hanging in there a little bit, right? So a little bit tricky one there, but below the 80 and the 50. Facebook, again, earnings tomorrow, up a little bit after hours in sympathy with pins. V, earnings tonight, up a little bit after hours, nothing major, right? So it's kind of just, it's got some big issues to deal with now after today's gap down, so we got that going on too. So good stuff, guys. Great chart requests tonight. Great questions. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a fun day, and hopefully we'll have another fun day tomorrow. I'm sure we will. We always do, even if it's choppy, right? So because there's usually room, there's usually still levels to trade against, so that's always fun too. So anyway, guys, I really appreciate you for tuning in. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. If you're new here or not, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. We always appreciate it. Even if you're watching the recording, please hit the like button too. It always it really means a lot. I appreciate it. So and then Tesla, right? What's up? So good stuff there. So I hope everybody has a great evening. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning on the Good Morning Market Prep video here on YouTube. And until then, stay healthy out there and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game.